Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Shoaib Ahmed. This video is on language acquisition. How did we learn human language? This video explores how did we acquire human language. This video is on language acquisition theories. So we have two kinds of theories that suggest how did we acquire human language. Number one, based on structure, culture and society, and another is based on sound. बाट चलत मोर अचरा गहे, मेरी सुने न अपनी कहे, ना कुछ मोसो झगड़ा झाटा, ए सकी साजन नहीं सकी काटा, कहत नटत रीचत खींचत मिलत खिलत लजियात, भरे बोन में करत है नैने नैने सो बात, प्रीत करे तो ऐसी कर जैसे करे खजूर, जा मिले पिए तो प्रियुरस गिए तो चकना चूर, नहीं पराग नहीं मधुर मधु नहीं विकास इहकाल, अली कली ही सो बंधे हो आगे कौन हवाल, पोथी पोथी पढ़ जग मुआ पंडित भये ना कोय, ढाई आखर प्रेम के पढ़े सो पंडित होए, woods are lovely dark and deep but I have promises to keep, miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep, a think of beauty is a joy forever, it will never pass into nothingness. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye, thy fearful symmetry. Les penso tua, moito bom. Ami tumako bhalobashi. What is this? These are the forms of language, multiple forms of language. So how did we learn this language, such language? How did we coin such terms, phrases and the language? So this lecture explores how did we learn human language that we are using in the current time, in the current cosmopolitan multicultural world. So we have the refined language, the embellished language, and we have a long history. So number one, we have on the basis of structure, culture and society, we have four kinds of language acquisition theories. Number one, linguistic theory, that is coined by Noam Chomsky. Number second, behaviorist theory. The idea of behaviorist theory was developed by B.F. Skinner and Ivan Pavlov. B.F. Skinner is American psychologist, American behaviorist, and Ivan Pavlov is Soviet Russian psychologist, cultural critic, and his theories have impacted the contemporary popular culture, popular literature, popular fiction, popular narration. Third theory is cognitive theory. The idea of cognitive theory was developed by the famous psychologist Jean Piaget. He is a Swiss psychologist, Jean Piaget, and he is an educationist. Number fourth theory is interactive theory. Interactive theory is developed by Vygotsky and Jerome Bruner. Vygotsky is Russian Soviet and Jerome Bruner is American linguist, psychologist and cultural critic and neurologist. So we have some minor theories in terms of culture, language and society. So input hypothesis theory, output hypothesis theory and socio-cultural theory of language acquisition, and we also have concept of universal grammar, but that has already been explored in the linguistic theory. And another theory that is based on sounds. On the basis of sounds, we have five kinds of theories, and they are: number one, bow wow theory. This theory was coined by German philosopher Johann Gottfried Herder. Johann Gottfried Herder. And second theory is ding dong theory. Ding dong theory was coined by Plato and Pythagoras. And you know Pythagoras, समकोण त्रिभुज में कर्ण का वर्ग अन्य दो लंबों के योग के बराबर होता है. In a right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal of the sum of the other two sides. The theory that is given by him, the theorem. And another theory is Lala theory. Lala means the situation of happiness. Pooh-Pooh theory, Yo-Hi-Ho theory. So let's explain. Number one, language theories based on structure, culture and society. Number one, linguistic theory. The idea of linguistic theory was developed by Noam Chomsky. He is an American linguist, famous American linguist. He developed the idea of linguistic theory, and he suggests that human language is developed by structure and universal grammar. He suggests that all human beings have innate ability to learn human language. We human beings or our brains are pre-wired with language acquisition devices. All human beings across the world share certain common grammatical structure. So this is the idea of universal grammar. And his theory raises two questions. Number one, how language has impacted human beings, and how human beings have impacted the language, because the language is developed by human beings, and he explores many aspects: attention, memory, imitation, sound. So these are the two very important questions if you are doing your PhD in linguistics, and if you are doing your PhD in cinema studies or in culture studies or in gender studies. So you must explore this in detail, because language is everything, communication is everything. How human beings have impacted the language, and how human beings have developed the impactful language. Second is how this effective language, effective communication has impacted the life of human being. So this is linguistic theory. Number second, behaviorist theory. Behaviorist theory suggests that the language has been developed through human behavior. We have different sounds in pain, sounds in surprise, sounds in happiness. So human language has been developed through behavior, interaction, through socio-cultural activities. This theory is suggested by B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner is an American linguist, behaviorist, cultural critic, and psychologist. And B.F. Skinner has written two important books that you must read. If you are doing your PhD, you must read it. And if you are preparing for NET, this lecture is enough. You are not supposed to read anything apart from this lecture. After clearing your NET, you can read in detail. But still, if you are struggling for NET, you must listen this video only. Number one book by B.F. Skinner, Verbal Behavior. This is a very important book in terms of language theories. This book lays out the concept about communication. What is communication? What is verbal communication, non-verbal communication, interpersonal communication, intrapersonal communication, horizontal communication, grapevine communication, and how communication impact human beings, human brain, human mind, human life, because everything depends on the communication. So it explores the relationship between language and communication, speech, sound, human imitation, human mind in terms of language, human behavior. And it suggests that human beings learn language through their behavior. And it also talks about gender difference, the male and female, language of male and language of female. The best example is Miss Julie, the play that is written by Augustus Strindberg. And in that play, Miss Julie speaks like a male. So that is also the question, how gender impacts human language, and how language impacts gender, and how gender impacts human language. So that is all about verbal behavior. This is a psychological study of human behavior in terms of human language, in terms of speech, in terms of sound, how sound impacts. There are many things to read about sound. And the second book is Beyond Liberty and Dignity. So this book is about culture, how culture impacts human language, human communication, language development, and he coined the term cultural engineering. So second behaviorist is Ivan Pavlov. Ivan Pavlov theory is based on the experiment with dog. His theory is based on the experiment with dogs, and he suggests that language is developed through human behavior, through human interaction. Learning language is a socio-cultural activity, and his theories, even Pavlov's psychological theory, he is a psychologist, neurologist, physiologist. So his theories have impacted the narratives of popular culture, popular literature, popular fiction, science fiction, utopian fiction, dystopian fiction, speculative fiction. Yeah, read it in detail, then you will find how it impacts the contemporary narratives, contemporary literary narratives. So another third theory is cognitive theory. This theory is developed by Swiss linguist and psychoeducationist Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget has developed his theory on the basis of mind, brain, cognition, interaction. His theories are divided into 4 stages. Number 1, sensory motor stage. That is about sense, how a child develops his language through sense. It's about imitation, how he imitates, how he reinforces, how he explores. So sensory motor is about imitation and exploration. And the second stage is pre-operational. Pre-operational is about thinking process, human thinking process, how we think, symbolic utterance, sign, symbol. And third is pre-operational, concrete operational. And third is concrete operational. And concrete operational is about critical thinking. Concrete operational, how we image, how we think. And it's about grammar, it's about syntax. And as far as I have read, this theory was concrete. This theory was impacted by Noam Chomsky's concept of universal grammar. And the last stage is formal operational. In this stage, he suggests that human language is developed through abstract thinking. It means the research. We research on the subject, on the topic, and that research brings something new, something innovative, something critical, something creative. So abstract thinking, complex thinking, the complex form of language is developed in this stage, in the 4th stage. So the last theory on the basis of structure, culture and society is interactive theory. This theory is suggested by or developed by Vygotsky and Jerome Bruner. Vygotsky is Russian Soviet psychologist, behaviorist, neurologist, physiotherapist. He develops his theories based on the human interaction, because language develops through interaction. And Jerome Bruner, he is American. He also develops this idea of interaction. We human beings develop language through interaction, and they gave the example of romance and hate. With the beloved, with your lover, you will use the romantic language, the emotional language, the language of sensation. And with your enemy, you will use abusive language. So how the human beings, the interaction with human beings impacts our language, impacts our behavior. So it's a socio-cultural aspect. It needs memory, attention, imagination, sensation, feeling, face value. So human interaction. This theory suggests that human language has been developed through interaction. So these are the theories that are based on culture, society, structure. And another theories that are based on sounds, they are number 1, Bow theory. Bow theory is developed by German philosopher Gottfried Herder. Johann Gottfried Herder. Bow means the imitation of natural sound. We human beings have learned the language by imitating natural sounds, animal sounds and other sounds. Sounds of river, sounds of dog, sounds of cow, sounds of lion, sounds of mountain, sounds of river, sounds of air. Bow means imitation of natural sound. How we human beings have developed our language by imitating natural sounds, our environmental sounds, the sound that we feel in our environment. So the second theory is ding dong theory. Ding dong theory is about, this theory was developed by Pythagoras and Plato. They are the ancient Greek philosopher. Pythagoras, समकोण त्रिभुज में कर्ण का वर्ग अन्य दो लंबों के योग के बराबर होता है. In a right angle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of other two sides. That theorem he gave. So they thought about the language development, language theory. Ding dong theory is about how the sounds of any object, sounds, quality, and nature of any object create a language. It means their characteristics. The characteristics of an object, the quality of an object create language. Ding dong. Ding dong means overflow of human emotion. Ding dong. Ding dong. How object makes sound. It is based on the sounds of the object. How the object of anything creates sound. So that is ding dong theory. Then we have la theory. La theory is developed by Danish philosopher and psychologist Otto Jesperson. Lala is about human emotion, pleasant human emotion. That language developed through certain musical sounds, melodic babbling, certain musical utterances, certain beautiful voices, melodic voices. So rhythmic sounds, some rhythmic sounds have developed human language. Lala means situation of happiness, situation of romance, situation of love, situation of play. Then we have Pooh-Pooh theory. Pooh-Pooh theory is about, as Wordsworth has given, poetry is an spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling which is recollected in tranquility. And in Pooh-Pooh theory is about human natural sound. When language comes out in pain, in happiness, in surprise. So Bow theory is imitation of natural sound, and Pooh-Pooh theory is human natural sounds. Ah, ooh, ouch. Then we say a language in pain, a language in crisis, a language in happiness. Oh yes, oh my God. So this Pooh-Pooh theory. So Pooh-Pooh theory means the language that comes out through human emotion and in spontaneous overflow of human emotion. So this theory suggests that human language developed from human spontaneous overflow of feelings, emotion, not powerful. That can be powerful and that cannot be powerful. So Pooh-Pooh theory. So last theory is Yo-Hi-Ho theory. Yo-Hi-Ho theory suggests that human language developed through certain rhythmic chants, certain rhythmic qualities, certain rhythmic chants. So this is what about the language theories, language acquisition. This is very important. If you are doing your PhD, if you have just entered, if you have just registered for PhD, you are supposed to read it in details. If you are doing PhD in any discourse, in any subject, because language is everything. Without language, we cannot do anything. Language language protects, preserves knowledge, information, and anything. So you can explore in detail B.F. Skinner. You can explore B.F. Skinner, even Pavlov, if you are working on popular literature, popular culture, crime fiction, psychological fiction, or B.F. Skinner if you are working on the culture, the children literature, the psychological literature, diaspora literature, immigrant literature, cinema literature, adaptation, translation. And if you are preparing for NET, you are not supposed to read anything apart from this lecture. Just prepare notes on the basis of this lecture, and this is enough. They'll hardly ask 2 or 3 questions from language theories. So all the best. Take care. Bye bye.